All right, welcome to Roleplay Cafe. We are doing some old school D20, right? We're playing Sword and Wizardry Continual Light. I'm using a mini module for this. I have a collection of mini modules. However, there's no guarantee these crazy players will actually head in that direction. So we may not do mini module. It'll depend on what they choose here at the beginning. But so anyway, we're here with Dell, Roleplay Cafe's founder and Dark Age of Man co-author, co-designer. We're with Sam, Chalice and Chains on YouTube. And David is here with us. Todd hopefully will join us in a minute. He may not, and David, who is also YouTube, old school YouTube. I cannot remember Paladin.
Peladrone Paladin. Man.
Yes, Peladrone Paladin. I can never say Paladin properly.
So fast.
Yeah, tongue twister, man. Tongue twister. Okay. So, gentlemen, this world building will occur as we play, but for the sake of the start of this quest, you are all from the known lands, which is the old empire. The old empire has abandoned the country centuries ago, leaving in its wake evidence of the great empire: aqueducts, stone forts, a great stone wall built by the one of the late emperors centuries ago. And it is this great stone wall that crosses the entire continent that has protected the known lands from the unknown lands. And in the last couple of decades, people have been more adventurous, and they've begun to set off into the unknown lands. They've begun to explore, and some have made it back with treasures and with stories of what can be found there. And it is 4 days, having left Khazad, a old empire fort at the wall, is now a city fort, and it is where you have left to head north from the south. You may or may not be from Khazad. It does not matter at this point. But you have been on the road north on the old Empire Road, headed north. This road, 2 days into this march, the road ceased to be a traditional empire building road. The Great Empire has a particular way they build these roads, and they build these roads by excavating dirt from the edges, and they pile it into the center, and then they compress it and flatten it out to turn them into these remarkable quick roads. And they can build these roads as old empire legions would march, and they were able to create these roads with stone or with dirt, but they would compact it. Well, 2 days into this march north, that evidence of that kind of road building ended, and now you're on more of a traditional migratory highway, foot traffic. It's now more or less trampled, but it is no longer hard-packed empire roads. And 4 days in, you find yourself at a Y junction. It is the great change of season between summer and autumn. Some of the leaves on the trees are beginning to turn. They have not begun to fall. Beautiful. The trees here are large, dense. There is lots of undergrowth over this last couple of days. Really, part of the danger of the unknown lands was this great forest, was this dark, foreboding, dense forest that hid the evils of the world. Why they built the wall. You find yourself standing in front of a large tree so large that you could not you could not daisy chain around this with 3 grown people. So it's a broad, giant tree, hundreds of feet high. And hanging on this tree is a parchment written in common language. It says, "Adventurers wanted. Seek at Farrondale. Seek the Elven Smith in Farrondale." Below the sign, hammered on the tree, and this parchment is relatively, definitely, Aberrus, you can tell from looking at this parchment paper, it is relatively new. It may have only been up here a day or so. It is not weathered very bad. It's in good condition. so it's been hung up here recently. Below where they have hung this parchment, etched in the tree, is a pointer to the northeast that says Farrondale, 3 miles. Underneath that, pointing to the northwest route, again, this is a Y junction you've come to, is Aberrus. You can tell from looking that there's evidence that somebody used magic missile to obliterate the name of that particular direction, and there's no mileage there either. It's been obliterated by magic missile, and you can tell from your experiences with magic missile. So this tree has got a marred scar that has wiped out what is headed northwest.
Towards the other branch.
Correct.
Y, basically.
Correct.
Okay.
It is midday, by the way. You have 3 days of rations remaining, gentlemen, for your 7 rations, generally. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No. I was inquiring whether or not my Farrondale's 2 companions could read the signage as well.
I believe it was in the common tongue, right?
Yes.
That's very
Farrondale, the marking for the sign on the tree, and the parchment are all in common tongue. Yeah.
Just the scarring of the tree, and I want to see if there's any tracks leading away from it. It looks like it's a new parchment, so the scarring couldn't be. It has to be relatively new too. Are there any?
Let's make
tracks?
Let's make a tracking check here. 1 to 4.
2.
So as you investigate both the marred remnants of this burn in the tree, that's old. Hard to tell exactly how old, but this is not a new burn mark on the tree where they've obliterated whatever was there. However, as you look to the northwest, there is at your feet there is less recent foot traffic or animal traffic, cart traffic to the northwest. Matter of fact, you would be hard pressed to see that there's been any fresh travelers headed northwest in the last week. And you can see it's down the road as you just peer before it bends around in the trees and you lose sight of the road, that it's denser vegetation and it is somewhat grown over the foot traffic. So to the northwest, it is not as widely traveled or as much traveled. So to the northeast, this is obviously the continuation of the main highway that had once been a part of the Empire Road. You can see, obviously, that in the last day or so, someone has been here with horse. There is horse scat and evidence of hoof prints, shoed horses, and where somebody must have hung this parchment. So you get a pretty good idea, right? I
walk along, and the guys obviously know what I'm doing is I'm looking around at the scat and the tracks or whatever, and I'm kind of talking out loud so they can hear me in part, and relaying all this information you just given, and looking down the path. It looks like our signsman has headed this way, as everyone else appears to have. The other path, is more obscured. So, but anyway, I'll walk back and what say you? Does our destiny lie in this direction? And I'll ruffle the paper.
Yeah, and so I imagine I would be I would have been riding on the top of the Mastiff at this point, because after about 4 days, after about 3 days, I had really gotten tired of walking, I think. And so I would say, we cannot take the travel or the path that is more grown over. I mean, nobody's gone that way. And if nobody's gone that way, then that means there's no gold. So no, we must go the way that the person who put up this sign went, right? He clearly, if he put up the sign, it must be important. So let's go that way.
I'll look at you with a curious look and a wry smile, and I said, "The road less traveled, not for you. You might get lost in the underbrush."
And I say, no, it isn't me as much. I'm worried about Biscuit, and you guys will know Biscuit is my dog. He may get if he gets caught in the brambles, he makes such a fuss. It's not worth it.
Reach out and pet his head. You know what I mean? He's a good mutt. And,
yeah, he's a terrible guard dog though, in the sense that like he'll just anybody that has food or is nice to him, he'll be like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
He's only as disciplined as right as there is.
He's the goodest boy, but he's not a good worker.
Right.
Not yet.
Yeah, but then you can get cold out in the wilderness, as I know, and sometimes you need a heater. You know.
Right.
So he comes in handy. So I continue my wry smile and look over toward David. What's your character's name? I'm writing these down.
Avarice or Avarice.
Avarice.
Okay.
Avarice is fine. Yeah.
Okay. What say you, Avarice? What is your future lie?
He'll point at the damaged area, or obliterated area, and say obviously someone either doesn't think highly of taking that route or doesn't want anyone else to take that route. And either way, I think a much more fortuitous fate to take us this way. And he points, towards the Farrondale designated.
Yeah, you guys have been, literally 4 days straight traveling this North Passage and have not seen a village, have not seen a camp, have not seen any sign of civilization. So at this crossroads, the only indication of civilization is this sign directing you to Farrondale. Just to make sure you understand, in 4 days travel, you have not seen any civilization.
Yeah. Our soft bed lay this way, I think.
Yeah, I was a bit in jest anyway, as my manner. I'm not pushing toward it, but I did want to, point out the ways. But I agree, and plus I need a soft bed, and I'll stretch, to my full length, arms above my head, and whatever like that. And shall we be on our way? And I'll brush off some of the travel dust, off my breeches, and take a step forward.
So just for clarity, are we going the easier route or the harder route?
Well, supposedly the easier route towards the town.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. Okay. So then, yes, with a bit of a smile, I would say, well, yes, a soft bed, that would be lovely. And if there's soft bed, then there must be breakfast. And if there's breakfast, there must be ale.
I'll say in soft women too. And then, laugh and whatever. Right. Get the kick out of this laughter. What's your character's name again, Sam?
It is Bartleby St. James Esquire, except not really Esquire, just Bartleby St. James.
Bartleby.
Mm-hmm. The purveyor of the purloined.
With Biscuit.
And Biscuit. Yep, Biscuit the dog.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Bartleby. We'll have it your way.
So, again, noonday, you have decided to head northeast. Okay. So, as you continue, now, again, this road 2 days ago ceased to be constructed Empire Road, but it is clearly the major thoroughfare, probably for eons. In the North Country, and it appears to be a continuation of that quality of road. In roughly a little more than an hour, you begin to see evidence of Farrondale after you're approximately 3 miles on this road. You move fairly quickly, unobstructed, but you begin to see evidence of small shacks. These small hovels, Aberus are definitely elven. They are almost one with the trees. They look as though they have. It looks as though many of these homes are almost grown from the trees themselves.
Mm.
They might be a very vague lines of demarcation between building and the tree.
Mm-hmm.
They are almost molded to the trees, and if they are not, they look almost as if they are quite literally grown from the trees. These elven hovels, and they're generally 1-room hovels, 2-room hovels. As you get closer, you begin to see a sign that you can read. Anyone who can read Elvish can read Farrondale, but it's in an elven scrawl on this wood sign that's carved. There is a young couple, elven couple. The girl, would be in elven equivalent to a older teenager, maybe early 20s. She is playing with a boy, an elven boy, roughly the same age. She taunts him with an apple. And they see you coming about 25 yards as you're coming up the road. And they stop dead. But they don't run away, but they stop dead watching as you come up the road.
And am I right in assuming that both Abris and Y'all, they're both elven, right?
Oh, are you? I didn't know you were an elf too. Okay, good. Okay,
I think
good.
so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you can read this as well. You can read this as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, you would have not... You recognize this even from the known lands. Some elven villages and cultures live among the trees in which you've seen this kind of unison between the elves and nature, right? But depending on where you're from, you may have seen it, and you may have heard of it, but you may not have seen it. It just depends on where you're from. I would assume a ranger maybe knows more of this. I don't know. You guys would have to tell me that. But you do recognize this is definitely an elven village.
Well, yeah, I'll raise my arm up and say, "Well met, young lovers," and draw the question out, questioningly with a little smile, and raise my hand.
Do you say in Elven or in Common?
Oh, I'm saying it in Elven. Yes,
in Elven. Okay. I would kind of tug on Abris's robe or whatever as y'all is saying that, and I was like, "What's he saying?"
I will lean down and kind of translate in a hushed tone as the conversation goes along.
Yeah, and I would say, "Oh, he called them young lovers. Oh, of course, he's a ranger. He spends more time with the deer than he does with people. Good Lord."
Where are your elders, young ones?
When she hears you speak, in her tongue, she kind of gets a wry smile and she pitches the apple up above her head, backward toward the boy. The boy, hands in the air, kind of scrambles around to catch it. When he catches it, he kind of backpedals a couple of steps and begins to turn to head back down toward the village. She, on the other hand, moves gracefully, whimsically, not deterred or frightened by you, and gives you the traditional elven greeting. She comes up close first to Abaris as you are closer to her, and traditional elven greeting as she smells your neck and your hair as she moves around you. This a greeting that the women in the elven culture tend to do. Strokes your thigh.
Did you say how she's dressed?
She's dressed in I won't say wool, but it is a woven fabric. It may be wool, it may be of some kind of, but it is a cloth fabric.
A commoner type of clothing.
Yeah, it's definitely not warrior.
Okay.
Nothing about her.
That cloth, yeah.
Yeah, nothing about her reeks of war or hostility. She is not particularly clean,
Okay.
Right? I mean, she might have marks of dirt or mud on her cheeks, but the traditional greeting is she smells your neck, your hair, circles you. She will stroke your hip and your crotch. This is not unheard of. I don't know how you would respond, as you may not have been expecting this.
Yeah,
and then she'll quickly be on to Dell's character here, y'all, and she'll do the same. Smell your neck, your hair. She'll circle you and touch you.
And I'm returning in kind her motions around her, almost like a dance. In fact, impatiently so until she got to me.
What's your charisma?
My charisma is 7.
7.
Oh, wow.
She says,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, she says
that might be uncouth,
and stranger.
She says to you in Elvish, which is not spoken yet. She says, "Fundal luck," and you both know immediately as she kind of says this, as she nods toward Abris, the ugly elf is what it means in Elven, right? However, she looks at you. But between you both are clearly that's her remark to Abris, right? And then she'll look over at the Mastiff and the half man upon the Mastiff.
So at this point, I actually would have gotten down off of Biscuit because I was, and as she spoke to y'all, Abris would have felt another tug on his robe, keep bringing the translation. And so perhaps as she mentions he translates, the ugly elf, like I would just start laughing, like in the most ridiculous, high pitched halfling way.
She laughs with you. She doesn't know why, but she laughs with you.
Yeah.
And then she's petting the Mastiff.
Oh, yeah.
And depending on the nature of the Mastiff, she'll mount this Mastiff playfully, as if to ride it about.
Oh, no. So Biscuit would totally be into that. But I think as she maybe goes to do that, I would be like, oh God, what would I say? I would say, excuse me, madam, excuse me, but he's a working dog. He's not meant to be ridden by anyone but me. And then I would say, where are my manners? I'm sorry. Bartleby St. James at your service.
I'm laughing at your, you know what I mean? You're getting off kilter after you laughed at me. And then you say that, and I say, come, girl, stop gallivanting around and tell us where you're Whitney tribal, but your clan leaders are.
Your
elders.
At Bartleby's bizarre language, she'll tilt her head and kind of blush and laugh. She hears this half man speaking a language she doesn't understand. She'll kind of giggle at him, and then she'll respond to you directly. What was your question again? I'm sorry. Your question, Del, was to her?
I just, after Bartleby ruffles his feathers, I laugh and then say, come on, girl, why stop gallivanting around. Tell us where your elders are. The sun grows, low in the sky.
Yeah, and she'll point back toward the village, and you can see now from where you're at better the village as you all take in the sights. Almost all the buildings again are attached to one of these large trees. They appear to be, if there may be things attached or have been built onto the trees. Only 3 or 4 buildings larger than 1 or 2 rooms. And she waves her hand in the general direction of the village itself. Farrondale, she says, we have no, as you call them, town elders, just families.
I look at Avarice and say, let Barnaby have his fun And I'm already turning and heading toward there.
Okay. She slides off
Thank you.
the animal and pats its head, and then she'll whimsically follow you behind a few steps, curious about you, but won't say any more. But she'll follow you as you head toward the center of the village.
Seeing that the conversation is largely over, I would have, and perhaps maybe it only took 2 or 3 times of tugging on Abras's robes before he just continued to translate. I don't know, or pushed me away. But as we're at this point sort of following y'all down, I would come back and be walking next to Biscuit, and I would look over to him and I would be like, I'd kind of pat him and he would give a little bark, and just a little one, and I would say, well, yes, of course, but she's a human. No, yes, it seems like she would be fun, but I tell you, she's an elf, not a human. And then he would bark, and it's almost like I'm having this conversation with him, but he's trying to, seemingly, from my part of the conversation, it seems as though he's trying to convince me to let her pet him more, and I think that that's a bad idea.
Right. Gotcha. So,
or express that that's a bad idea. Yeah. No. She doesn't have any food. Oh, she might actually. We should find out, shouldn't we? Do you think they have wine?
She, as you get now closer, you can make out some of the larger buildings here. Again, only 2 or 3 rooms large at most. There's 3 of these in the heart of the village. One smoke from a forge out front. You can see a sign that hangs from the eaves of this particular building that says Fairlight's Treasures, which was, of course, that was where you were. You read on the parchment. You were to look for the Elvinsmith at Fairlight's Treasures, so you know that is who hung the sign, or at least references the parchment that you saw on the trail. The other 2 appear to be homes of more prominent families, and she will peel away from you as you get closer to the town center, village center, and she will head over to the boy now sitting on a stump in front of one of these larger, and she'll join him as they eat apples and watch you. I mean, they're watching you from their stoop, so to speak.
They can be voyeurs all they like. You said they're the one building, the shop. I gesture to the others, and I'm going to walk up in there. While I'm saying, "Well met, Elven family," in Elvish. Is there no one here to greet us? And I'm peering inside the shop. You have hungry travelers. Days on the road.
So this is the forge, the Fairlight's Treasures you're approaching?
Yeah, that was close in, right? The closest one to it.
Yeah,
Sure.
You see now in the back of the building itself, as you approach, and now your eyes can adjust to kind of see into the tree. So hanging, blocking. So the forge is out front. It is stone. It's a stone anvil. It's not. I mean, this is like a stone that they're using as an anvil out of the ground in front of this tree. And as you approach this tree building or business, you can see now through this kind of curtain of leaves, etc. You can kind of see in. You see a large elf, and he approaches as he realizes you're speaking to him. He stands. He is stripped to the waist, sweating. His hair is cropped close to his head. Both ears are laden with earrings on both ears, probably 8 to 10 earrings in each ear. He is about 6'3", muscle-bound, and covered in soot and ash from the bellows and the work he's doing. However, when you approach, he's not hammering. He's doing something else, maybe stoking the fire. As he wipes his hand on his apron, he'll duck through the leaves, separating the interior of the building from the yard or the forge, and he'll come out and wiping his hands, and he'll look about. Ah, travelers, and you have seen my sign. Are you here answering the call of the posted work?
No,
What language? What language does he say that in? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Elf.
In Elvish. Okay.
Elf, yeah.
All right, I'm tugging on Avris's robes again.
and Avris will kind of impatiently put a hand up, like hold, as he tries to see how the conversation is going, because y'all can be quite
brusque.
Brusque at times, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I know my 7 charisma, sign master. And I'll turn around and say that in common. We found him. The one who's posted the sign, And then I'll turn my attention back to him and stick out a hand, greedily, wanting a handshake.
Yeah, he will take your hand in the traditional
Hopefully he doesn't crush it.
Right.
I'm just glad he's not pirouetting around me at this moment. But
no, he's not. He tells you, yes, it is. I am the Elvensmith. I am Wellen Fairlight, as you can see, the name of my establishment, Treasures. And again, you haven't seen any treasures because you have not been into the establishment. But there are no treasures about the forge here in the front. Yeah.
I was gonna make note of that actually. Because of course I can't understand what he's saying, and so with Abris not translating immediately, I would get a little bored, and I would point up to that sign, and I would say, "Oi, doesn't it now? It's been a while since I've read Elvish, but I believe that word says treasures. Where are the treasures? Do you see any treasures? I don't. And can I tell? Is it obvious with the earrings that he's got? Are they gold? Are they silver? Is it?
Various metals, silver, platinum, gold.
Right.
No jewels. These are all metals.
Yeah.
And the loops. Most of them are loops. He wears nothing around his wrists or neck. Just his ears. Yeah.
Seems the only treasures are in his ears. Of course, I don't fancy elven ears, but this is going to turn out to be disappointing, I believe.
He says back to you in common tongue, "Yes, I'm happy my ears do not interest you, little man. And yes, there are treasures. They are. Are you here to shop? Or are you here to answer my call?" And
I'm so sorry.
Feel free to browse. He pulls back the canopy of leaves into his establishment. Feel free, half man, to peruse my establishment if you need to.
Well met, Wellen. I'll give the introductions. I'm y'all. This is Avarice, and for the little man there, he's Barnaby.
Now, are you still speaking in Elvish, or are you now in Common? He's directly. I switched
Common since he does.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
he's
then
directly
in that case, when you said Barnaby, I would say Bartleby, St. James, please.
Bartleby. I stifle a little chuckle and corrected the Honorable Bartleby St. James, Esquire. Yeah. And his
noble, I don't know, but
and his noble steed Biscuit, and then I'm stifling a chuckle or whatever like that. But yes, he wishes to look at your establishment. But me, I come in part response to your query, needing adventurers, but adventurers often get tired, and we've been on the road for 4 days now. Is there a place we can rest up, get some respite and refreshments?
Indeed. And he points directly over your head to the establishment directly across from this one of the 3 major buildings.
Yeah.
But as you may or not trace his finger as he points over your head to the establishment behind you, he then points upward, and that's when you realize there are many tree houses and buildings in the trees above you. And that's when you begin to see the ladders and the stairwells that are cut into the large trees. You can hike or walk up into, and he points to the top and says, "Yes, there is the tree inn where you can gladly take respite, and
Good man.
Shala will
And-
feed you and care for you."
A good man. Looks like we'll need a basket for biscuit. I'll look at Avarice and say that. But we will adjourn later. We'll pick up this conversation after I've stretched out a bit. And then I'll turn on my heel and walk. I'm not waiting for the other two. Then they're where I'm going,
Okay. Avarice, anything you have to say? Or
This is quite an interesting conundrum here. I wouldn't imagine that they would have very many visitors here, yet they're taking this pretty much all in stride. Do we see very many other townsfolk in this? I'm assuming it's larger than the village, right?
Oh yeah, above your heads, you realize, Farrondale is much larger than it appeared from the ground. You are now seeing more people moving about in the hovels above your head, some of the homes in the trees above your head. You now can see children, playing. But they're all elves. You see no other. Not readily here do you see anything other than elves.
But we aren't causing any kind of a scene, so to speak, are we? The fact that we are here,
no,
one
and
is stopping.
No, and if you're looking, as it sounds as if you are, you see that he has 2 carts on the northeast side of his forge, laden with weapons, shields, and it looks like he's either in the middle of filling a large order of weapons. And there's evidence clearly on the ground that there's been lots of traffic through this village, lots of hoof prints and mud prints. So there has been much visitors here, but they're not in the village today. I mean, it's a handful of elves here on the ground, and the rest are in the trees. But you do see 2 mule carts full of weapons and shields, swords and shields, spears.
Maybe then before following behind y'all, I'll ask him. I'll say, have you had many adventurers heed the call here?
Travelers from the known lands, as like yourselves. And he looks up. He looks you up and down. You see in his face, Avarice, this man recognizes you are definitely metropolitan. You are not from, the north. You can tell from the way he addresses you and looks at you that he is fully aware that you are strangers. And he responds in kind. No, we. If you mean from the south, no, we don't get many. We've had a few in the years, but you're the first strangers we have seen in months, maybe 6 months. Since the beginning, since the end of the last winter.
Okay, I'll make note of the mule cart there, full of weapons, and I'll say it looks like you're doing a brisk business to me, if I may say so.
Yes, the Lord has demanded that we prepare his forces. As you know, fortunately, none of you strangers are dwarfs. You do have the half man with you, but yes, they are. There's some ill will between the dwarves, as you may not know here in the north. You would not know, and our people. So we are preparing for what is to come. I am unfortunately made to do the work for little pay, but it is my duty as a citizen.
I'll say kind of taken aback at that. I'll say there's a war going on now.
Not yet, but we fear that any day, week, month, it could be war. Nevertheless, I must prepare the equipment because, of course, as he looks about the trees above your head, these young elves will be conscripted. They will be put to the task of war if it goes that way.
I will give him a curt bow at that, and then putting a hand on Bartleby's shoulder, I'll kind of lead him away and kind of whisper.
Are you? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just like we may have walked into a hornet's nest here, unfortunately.
Well, and you may have noticed my eyes have been sort of looking up and, at the ladders and everything quite apprehensively. And I almost as if, like, almost with an aloof type response, I'd be like, no, Master Aberys, be honest with me. Elven beds, are they as soft as, well, as you hope they are?
After 4 days of travel, it will be the softest bed that you have ever felt, I'd wager.
And it's like there's no treasure in the place that with the sign that says treasure. I have to climb up these ladders and a basket of all things. Indignant at the fact that that y'all would have said we need a basket for biscuit, which is, by the way, a lovely rhyme, and I think that needs to become more of a thing. But anyway, well, I've heard. I've heard elven wine is good, perhaps. So as you kind of have to push maybe a little bit harder than you might otherwise to get my feet to move. I say, I hate heights. Very good. Fine. Let's go. And I would muster up my my courage to ascend up into the elven inn, which seems weird because if they haven't seen strangers, how does an inn? I actually think I would mention that. Be like, I think you're right, Master Aberys. We've walked into something strange here. I mean, how do they have an inn, but they have no visitors? You can't make a custom that way. Like, do they? Oh my gosh! Do they even have ale at this inn?
There may be other elven villages or cities nearby. It would be unwise of us to think that this is the only refuge for the elven kind.
Oh, I suppose you're right. And was the conversation that you and the smith had, was that in Elvish or was that in Common?
Yeah, so yes. Definitely he would have shared that information in the Elven tongue to Aberys about the war, impending war. Yes, that would have been in Elvish.
Okay.
That was my
Okay. So in that case then I will say but it is quite concerning that they prepare for war, which may or may not be all that obvious, being that presumably I don't speak Elvish, but I would say that nonetheless.
I don't think
we must tread carefully. Right. Yeah, we have to tread very carefully. Not only because we're strangers here, but because of the fact that. From what I was just told, there's the brewings of an unfortunate disagreement upon without any more information. I'll just call it that between elves and dwarves. And personally, I would like to not get involved or be in between any one of those parties if I can help it.
Oh, indeed. And as we're getting closer and closer, right, to the ladder, like I'm trying to stall as much as I can. And so I would be saying, I must say I'm puzzled. What was this letter even about? I mean, we come here and we meet the smith in Farrondale. There's no treasure that I can see anywhere. And yet here we are. And now you say there's some kind of conflict between the dwarves and the elves. I don't see much coin in this for us, Master Aberys.
Well, after food in your belly and a good night's rest, you'll have much more clarity in the morning, and we'll be able to assess the situation much better. At least that's what my master used to always.
assuming we get a good night's rest. Although, and then I cheer up, perhaps, well, perhaps I don't want to rest this evening. We shall see. We shall see, indeed. Very good.
You say that aloud or what?
Yes, 100%, yeah.
As you,
and I walked because it's trying to build up my spirits to walk up the ladders or whatever.
Yeah, now there's spiral stairs cut into the trees, or you can take the ladders, the vine ladders. So whatever you're more comfortable, they both will ascend.
Do the stairs have rails, or are they just kind of?
It's carved. Oh God, they're carved into the trees.
No, then I'll take the ladder. I'm much more used to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Bissett coming with me then, or what?
No, I mean he can't. Can he even go up the? Oh God, I guess if he can go up the stairs, then I would.
Otherwise
I would tell him
you
to
could
stay
certainly
here
you
and
could
wait
certainly
for a
lead him up the stairs. You certainly could.
Oh dear God!
It was a goat. The problem.
I'm going to look around for baskets because I'm not actually sure if y'all was kidding about that or not. And so, having only been to one elven village before and it wasn't like this, I don't know. So I'll be looking around for like baskets or pulleys or something.
Gotcha.
Before I ascend. Yeah.
As y'all ascends, are you climbing the vine ladders or are you taking the stairs there, y'all?
Yeah, I am. The straighter path would be the vine ladder. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do that because I want to get up there and get up and over and step into the place and start stripping off my my sword and quiver and bow and setting it to the side, getting really relaxed. Feeling at home. I'm calling for, the sweetest, darkest berry wine they have. It's much needed. So it's like I'm just finding a place to seat at the table,
right,
and waiting for somebody to serve me.
Yeah, and as you do exactly as you say, this is very communal elf living. So no doors on these hovels, right? And as you ascend, you notice many of the kids and will come over and watch you. They'll follow you. They're curious, but because you are an elf, you are kindred. They don't seem to, under any circumstances, they seem alarmed or afraid or. Right, you're a stranger, but you are an elf. So you will meet as you do as you say, strip down, find a place to rest. These are open, large. They're cut into these giant trees, right? These are carved in. So the floors are carved in. They're carved out. So they've like hollowed out these gigantic trees. So they have they're inside the tree basically, right? And you can bed down. There are stumps from smaller trees that have been affixed for stools, for tables. You will see the young elf woman that he referred to below. She will greet you with the standard elven wine and standard elven vegetables, grapes, mostly a plant-based food, right?
Exactly.
Here, right, and she'll, without saying anything to you, provide this. And again, very communal living here. So no question of payment, so to speak. She won't say anything to you unless you speak to her. She will, of course, as she pours your wine, sets the wooden a plate there on the larger stump, which would be your table. She will smell your hair and your neck as she circles you, and then she will whisk away to shoo some of the children away for privacy.
Chalice up to my lips and drink some of the wine and set it back down and just kind of let myself uncoil in my my nerves relax, and I'll kind of laugh and say, and we'll probably need a half pint if my little friend can make it up the ladder.
She responds with a traditional elven affirmative.
Okay.
And prepares that.
Yeah, I'll kick my feet up on the stump and my shoes off and just chill. I've got chain armor too. I'll undo that and let it spill around my ankles or whatnot.
Okay. Aberrus, you are climbing the vines, taking the stairs. What?
Stairs, of course, yes.
Okay.
Stairs.
As you spiral around this epic tree, you realize that you now can get a 360-degree view of other hovels and other trees. You're seeing some are large, some are small. You're seeing these families. Again, many of them, they might have curtains of vines that provide privacy or break winds from the wind, etc., from snow. But for the most part, you're seeing elven families as you can take your time taking the stairs up, spiraling around. You see all of this. And again, they're all very much tribal, very much family. No evidence yet of anything other than elves among these people. Again, the kids will watch you. Some follow you up the stairs. Some will drop from other trees and vines, swing over onto the stairs, and giggle and laugh as they follow you up. Eventually, you will come up and around and see your comrade, having made himself stripped now into his skivvies, chainmail in a heap around him, a bow and shield, a sword scattered as he's partaking in food and wine. You see the woman. She is middle-aged, beautiful golden hair. She will greet you first with a chalice outstretched. And again, as tradition, she will smell you as you pass, smell your hair and your neck as you pass. And she will set a plate of vegetables there for you if you sit to eat. You have not seen anything. They don't appear to be living as if there is a threat of war or a threat of dwarves. They're not living like scared people.
Everest is very he awkwardly returns the greeting as best as he can because he's just not used to doing this as he has pretty much been sequestered from elven culture for many years. But he kind of quickly takes a seat and begins to pick at his food and kind of talks out of the side of his mouth to y'all and says, we best decide what we will do here, because I think, unfortunately, the longer we stay in this enclave, the worse our luck will turn out to be.
Adele, you're muted. We can't see Adele, so hopefully you're...
You drop.
Yeah, no, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The worst, you say, and I say it almost like with a little eye roll and gesture around, we're off the road. These people are our kin. And I look at you questionably like, well, why would you not feel at home here? Bring my friend the plate, not, a refill. Go ahead.
It's not that I don't appreciate their hospitality here, but
as
from
the
what
children reach by you and take food off your plate, and they're now you realize you're surrounded by children, and they're helping themselves to your plates of food, right? As they listen, to
those
your
are halflings.
Now, are you having this conversation in Elven or in Common?
No, in Common.
Okay, so they're really giggling and watching, heads turning as they're trying to. They're hearing a tongue. It's completely foreign to them.
Hopefully,
And I
yes.
stop for a second and look at him earnestly. Okay, my friend Avarice, what is troubling you? To break me away from my...
I say, must I spell it out for you, fool? War! There's war here.
War? And I look at you like war with whom, may I ask?
Dwarves. The elves and the dwarves.
The dwarves. Those low-bellied... And I'll kind of glance over at Barnaby and kind of keep it low.
Barnaby isn't there.
Barnaby is still waiting for a basket.
Yeah, actually, you'll hear the creaking vines and the kids laugh hysterically as you'll see the mastiff's head come up first as the basket rises. Bartleby, you will be down below pulling the basket up to their level.
Oh dear God! I had to pull it. No way.
Yes.
All right. With much cursing and disdain.
Don't worry, it is rigged
heavy.
With great leverage of engineering of leverage to make it easy for you to lift a heavier weight.
This sounds very worky, and Bartleby is not about that. So
Bartleby's not about that.
No, but yeah. Well, okay.
The kids will abandon this conversation and entertainment for the dog, and they will pull the dog from the basket, playing with the dog. Bartleby, you can see them. You can see
licking
them
their faces and hands and all that because you can smell the food.
So
I said his name low key because I didn't know if he was there, and that's when I take a look around and I'm like, where is the little man? To Avarice, and then war the dwarves, but you can't trust a dwarf. They live underground in the dark. They don't come up in the light, and I'll gesture and hold my hands out. They've obviously brought this upon themselves. These people are kin. They're part and parcel of who you are, who I am, who this land belongs to. They hide underneath in their caves, and anyway, you can tell there's a little bit of with me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I say we know nothing of this struggle between the peoples, and I, for one, want no part of it.
No part of it. You would turn your back on your own people. In the hour of need.
I am here for the potential treasure of things, not to take sides in some battle between two pompous kings.
I kind of balk at
we know nothing
and
about.
Pull back a little bit and look at you like I haven't before, right? And then, so you're here for the money. The money, be damned the people.
If it's okay, can that be the time when I finally make it up into the, just as he says that? Okay.
Yeah, but on your way, as you pull the basket quickly, you would have noticed while you were pulling the basket up, hoisting the dog, it's taking you a while, you would have glanced around and seen Wellen, the elven smith, come out, say something to the boy that you met coming into town with the apple. He would have said something in Elven to the boy, and then he would have gone over to a barrel and washed his face, his body, and then he would have pulled his tunic up and buttoned it, and he would have headed up the stairs. So you would be coming up the stairs just a few steps behind Wellen toward your friends.
Yeah, and I would be, the higher I get, the more grumbling and cursing there is, as one, I expected to be hoisted up in the basket, and two, this is much higher than I would like. So I think just as as y'all says, you're only here for coin, not about the people or whatever. Perhaps at that point, I would kind of come in with a bit of a commotion, and I would be like, "Coin? What? I see no. Where's this coin you speak of?" And then I would just like make my way right over to the table, and I would like be eyeing the elven children warily, as they are probably similar in size to me. And right. Bartleby doesn't like children, so he's kind of like, but I would kind of slide into maybe the space where presumably they brought the half pint, and I would look at it and I would say, "What in the nine hells is this? How was Biscuit supposed to drink from this?" Oh, no. Listen, and I would look over to Abris and I would say, is there a bowl or something I can pour this in for Abris? And where are the real size pints?
Shaking my head at this point, because when you said coin, and I kind of mutter, both of you, Avarice, the city has just despoiled you. You need to get back to nature, back to your people. And you're the same as him whenever you echo coins. The same as the dwarves, and I'll say it kind of spitefully, digging around in their minds searching for precious stones. And the word precious drips off my voice. So, and then I'll lean back and I'll push my plate away. I've seemed to lost my appetite, and I'll stand up and walk over to the girl, asking where my room is and wanting to pay for the food. And then I'll look over my shoulder.
Yeah, Welland will have come in and joined you as you complete your conversation in common. He will order the kids off home, and he will call Shala to bring more drink, and he will reach out and place a hand on your shoulder before you get up. No, stay. I do not mean to interrupt your respite, but this is a good time for me to discuss with you why I need your services, if you do not mind. And he'll look at Aberys, hopefully getting an affirmative nod. Obviously, he'll look about and see if he can get all three of you to give him an affirmative nod.
I'll wave a hand and say, "Please join us."
Yeah, and I mean, if he's speaking in common,
yes, he is,
that would have absolutely caught my attention, and so I would just sort of, hold my hand up and kind of wave him over as this, yes, come on.
Yeah, and he snaps his fingers and orders two of the older children to take care of the animal, and they are providing water for the animal and apple, carrots for the animal. The dog.
And said, "No, not too much on the carrots, not too much. I tell you, it'll upset his belly, and oh boy, you do not want to have to take him down in the basket after that."
Slip the girl.
No. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying, I slipped the girl a gold coin because I was over there trying to get her attention and pay her when Welland came in.
He shakes his head and tells you in common, "No, you. There is no need. Elves do not ever pay here. I don't know what it's like in your world and your country, but you stay free. You eat free. You stay among your people." So
at that, I literally topple backwards off the bench. Yeah, like I topple backwards off. Oh my goodness, what? And then I would kind of get back up and I would look to Aberys and I would say, "What kind of place is this? They don't accept coin?"
When he said that, I directly look at Aberys. You know what I mean? and then in my eyes I rove over to Bartleby too. When he said that, and a smile goes over my face. And to Welland, I'll say, you're most gracious. Some people, others outside of the reach of your hospitality, require coin greedily to operate. And I'll walk over more with my head like I've just reestablished myself in my point, and pull the chair back out and settle into place. What is your need, good sir? And my attention is fully fixed on him.
He drinks wine, eats a few grapes, commands her to light the candles as it is getting dark. You realize in just a few moments that you are alone. The mastiff sleeps in the corner. The kids are gone, and the girl is gone, and it is just you four. And under this flickering light, you now see what a large, muscular, tall elf this is. Not maybe something you're accustomed to seeing. You notice now he has scars, numerous scars on his forearms, hands, a few scars on his face. He has seen war, or he has seen at some point hardship. He is middle-aged, so this would be in his 30s. He leans back once he completes eating and drinking a little, and he looks directly, really, at Avarice, and he says, "I believe it is. How do I say this?" And he leans into between the two elves. Definitely, you know of Azurite. I believe I have determined the way that I can use Azurite in crafting magical weapons, and I happen to know where Azurite can be found. I need someone to retrieve Azurite so I can begin the process of crafting these magical weapons, or honing the recipe to make these magical weapons. And he's directly eye contact with Avarice.
Known to me at all?
Well, we're gonna make that check here. So we're gonna make an intelligence save. And if you have a intelligence 15 or plus, you'll have the +1 bonus. It's not so much that you won't know, but you may know more. Right. So we're not rolling to see what you don't know. We're rolling to see if you even know even more. So, but he has kept eye contact with you. Unless you break it, Avarice, he would not allow you to break eye contact unless you break eye contact when he's telling you this.
Okay, I am definitely riveted, hanging on to every word that he's saying.
Okay.
Especially, I rolled a 15.
Oh, yes.
And I will just kind of add to this that it is my understanding, whether true or not, that Azurite has inherent magical properties.
So
yes, I
know the great tales, the long lost skills of our elves. To utilize this, I believe I have uncovered it. And he leans in and whispers again, more directed at you, Avarice, and he says, "I have was lucky enough years ago to purchase off an adventurer a scroll that he had unearthed, and I believe this is the long lost recipe to use Azurite for magical crafting. But I need it, and I need the opportunity to test these theories, and that is why I need brave adventurers to do this. It would mean for you magical weapons. I would certainly craft you as payment magical weapons. Is there any interest here in the?
I immediately turn to y'all and hastily spit out. I will say, do you understand what that means? Magical
Yeah,
weapons that you may be able to use to aid you in this since you have chosen sides. Think of what you could do to the dwarves with something like that in your hand.
you didn't even have to mention that. You know what I mean? Because you could see that. Well, I rolled a 16.
Nice.
Yes, I know it's as right. And then I'll lean into and gather Welland's attention toward me. And I know of your foe, your impending foe.
Yeah, he turns.
Be that as it may.
He turns his head sharply at you. Listen.
Be that as it may. Yeah. Were you or were you not to give me a weapon of magical properties, I would do this fully for the protection of our people. You can depend on me.
Then I must. Then I feel compelled, though, to tell you the rest of this story. I do know of the mines north of here. And he pulls out of his tunic an old a parchment, and he unrolls it and places it, and he rubs out, flattens it, and rubs out the kinks, and sets the wine chalice on one corner and another one so it won't roll up. And it's a rough drawn map. And he points out the village, and he says, here, just 5 miles north of here. And he points north of the village. 5 miles here is a mine. This is where it can be found. But I feel, I must warn you, bandits are known to use this old mine as a base camp. I'm afraid you may have to be careful there or deal with them if they are residing there now. So this is not without danger.
These bandits, do they harass our people on the road?
The bandits
Impede your traffic?
We have had some trouble with them, yes.
Then
that is not why I
it would
send
eradicate.
you. I send you for the azurite, but be warned there may be bandits using it.
Well, if there are indeed, then eradicating the bandits would be a bonus, as it were. So, if it alleviates troubles for our people. So, I look around, so I am fully committed to this. And then I'll look at Avarice. And what say you, Avarice? Are you as well? Would you do it for your magic weapon?
I nod and I say there may be more to this than just azurite. So yes, I am in.
He pulls out a small leather bag, unties the top, and it turns out it's just a leather square. And in it, as he sets it down and lets the leather fall away, is a small piece of beautiful blue azurite. Bartleby, you would know the value of just this small, no bigger than a, no bigger than a, slightly smaller than a grape. The value of this alone is, it's quite valuable.
Sure.
This is evidence of what is in that mine.
And I at that seeing that, right, and I imagine that it almost is like sparkling in like the reflection of it sparkles in my eyes as I'm like literally peering as close as he'll let me get to it. In fact, I may have sort of climbed up onto the table to be looking at it, and I would say, and
you're standing in the seat. Yeah.
And I'd be like, how did you come across this?
This was brought by the same adventurer who sold me the scroll that I He claims it is from the mine. I personally have not been there, but I have no reason to doubt him.
He's got a keen eye, our Barnabas.
The
So if there's azurite to be found, I'm sure he can weasel his way down there and find it.
and Aberus, you can feel the power emanating from just this small chunk. I mean, it is. There's no doubt there is great power in this small chunk.
He won't even realize he's doing it, but he'll lean like really, close as if he's being actually pulled to it.
Yeah, maybe like you and me are like our heads are literally almost touching as we're looking at this thing, and I'll be like, it's so shiny, isn't it?
Visibly kind of slightly repulsed by their, leering, ogling this piece of whatever.
Wallow in your ignorance, stranger.
Yes.
Yeah, I've only got a intelligence of 9 and a wisdom of 8, so. But
I think
my loyalty is like an 18 though.
Yeah, I think I would probably slowly pull myself back at this point, and I would look at Waylon directly, and I would say, "Right, okay, so you've tempted us, obviously, but it seems rather treacherous. I mean, if you yourself, such a big elf, dare not go to these mines, I fear if we go only on the promise of magical weapons, which, by the way, we haven't seen any evidence that you can actually make, and that's assuming we actually come back with the said what's it called? The
Azurite
item we're looking for? Azurite. With the Azurite. Right. That's all well and good, but we're taking a risk whether or not we return with it. Perhaps you could do something to mitigate that risk.
He leans back, and just leaning back, he's seated, but as he leans back, he towers over you, standing on the table,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I was kneeling, but yeah.
Oh, anyway. Kneeling, sorry, kneeling on the table.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Kind of blows air out of both corners of his mouth as he's waiting to hear your offer.
Right. And realizing that he's not going to make an offer himself, I say, well, I do. And then I actually would turn my attention to Aberus at the moment. I'd be like, do they even have gold here? Coin of any kind?
Yeah.
That kind of shakes Aberus out of his stupor. And he turns and he nods. Yes, of course they have gold.
What they? I mean, how would we know? They don't seem to. The food is free. They've not charged for anything. I mean, well, although I suppose they must have some. And I point to his ear.
So he reaches out while you're saying this, and he picks up the grape-sized azurite and holds it out in front of you, Bartleby, and says, "This will bring you much gold. It is yours."
Oh.
And he'll drop it.
Oh God! I'll snatch it
for you to catch.
Yeah, and I will if I can. Do I need to roll for that? Or no?
Let's make
I do have an 18 back.
Let's make a. Now we're going to make a dex save, but with a bonus of +3 because you.
Okay.
The minute you saw him pick it up, you probably would have been watching it very carefully, right? So +3 save, a dex plus your dex, so +4.
Right. I think that unfortunately I may have imbibed too much drink prior to this because I do not succeed.
Okay.
I got a 12 even with the bonus.
Okay, so we're going to use the old missile grenade chart roll to see where it bounces. Okay, so it hits the table and bounces toward Aberus, and you hear it clink and bang onto the floor somewhere around Aberus's feet.
I would immediately dive for it off the table.
Okay.
I would bend to pick it up as well.
Right. So as you guys down to pick it up, Waylon looks directly at y'all and says, "I this will be advantageous for all of us." And then he stands, and and finishes off what's in his chalice of wine, and then you see him very quickly with two hands takes the vine above and scurries up into the darkness above this lodging. And the Shala comes out, and she points out. She'll take you all one by one to a resting place where you can rest for the night. And they're all in this same tree area, but they're just in different areas of this tree house.
Well, before we do that, I need to know if I get the Azurite or if Avarice gets it.
That's what I mean. Picture myself, y'all standing there, rolling his eyes as they're rooting around on the ground trying to find this or fight over this Azurite.
There you go.
Well, I'm hoping we don't have to fight over it. I'm hoping that I'm fast enough to get it, but we'll see.
You're scrambling to get it.
Yeah.
If you guys want to make an opposed dex check, be my guest.
It will be the end of
Okay, I know I'm going to lose anyway, but sure, yeah.
So just
are we doing the same? Are we doing? Oh, this is an opposed roll.
Yeah. Okay. So whoever rolls the highest d20 with a dex modifier.
Oh God.
Do I still get to add +3?
No, just your dex plus
okay,
1.
Then in that case, 10.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. I imagine as I get it, and I would come up and I would be like, "Excuse me, sir. I was the one who made this deal, and I'm the one who he promised this to."
And that's when you'll
run for his money.
And that's when you'll realize Waylon is gone. He's left, and she is now here to show. And she'll show y'all to his place of rest first, and then she'll come back and take Avarice to a cubby, almost like a private cubby. And again, these beds are carved out of the tree. Right, and they'll have some vines and some leaves, things to pad it a little bit. And same for you, except someone insists the Mastiff goes with you, as she'll nudge you to take the Mastiff with you, Bartleby, where you rest.
He's sleeping, isn't he?
Yes, he's curled up on the floor sleeping.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she speaks common or not, but I would in the common tongue say, "Oh no, there's no waking him now. I cannot."
Yeah, she just sighs and looks over at it, a little bit concerned about it, and then she'll retreat to her privacy.
Oh, so she's going to leave me alone? She's not even going to let me go to one of the rooms?
No, she'll show you where you're resting.
Oh, she will. Okay.
But she won't demand you take the dog, right? She won't demand you take the dog. So
and I think before I go up there, I'll grab the whatever the bowl that y'all had not finished of his vegetable. I'll just take it with me up to the
I had collected my things, and I kind of walked defeated. I'm a little bit depressed about my colleagues being so materially minded. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but there's a purpose to my step. Is I've got something to do. You know what I mean? But anyway.
I need both y'all and Avarice, as you rest and slumber in the middle of the night. I need you guys, both of you, to make a D6 check. You're looking for a 1 or a 2.
4.
2. There you go.
2. So you wake, David, Avarice, in the middle of the night, bolt upright. As it hits you, you have not seen an actual adult male elf outside of this, outside of Waylon at all in the village. Even in these tree homes, as you were noticing families and children, you have seen Waylon.
Females, yes. Males, no.
Females, yes. Young boys, yes. The teenage boy that was working with Waylon with the apple, but it hits you bolt upright in the middle of the night. You have not seen one male elf of adult age.
Interesting.
Except Waylon, right?
Yes. Okay. All right.
Whether that disturbs you or not is irrelevant, but you have made that, you have realized it in the middle of the night. Okay.
Changing the name of Farrondale to Nopendale.
No elfin bells, right?
Yeah.
In the morning, you wake naturally. However you do. Nobody wakes you up. You would wake however you naturally do, whether you're early risers or up with the sun or whatever. You do hear, kids about, and you hear, birds singing, etc. When you awake in the morning, and waiting for you at the same table is a breakfast. It is a warm kind of vegetable stew. It is warm, and there is the elven wine. They will have prepared this for you and left it for you.
Okay. All right. Oh,
Okay.
I will partake for sure.
Okay.
I will not mention my epiphany
Sure.
at all. I will keep that myself for now.
Okay.
My assumption is that the ravages of war have this place has paid a heavy toll. But I will wait until I can maybe gather some more intel about that before I speak on it.
Okay. Shala tells you that Wellen is waiting below when you are ready to leave for the mine. And she nods in that direction down below. And you see below waiting a cart with a mule, an open cart, nothing in it, with a mule ready. And you see Waylon working around the forge down below.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. Is there anything that you fellows want to discuss before we begin our journey?
I'm fairly quiet. I'm a little bit standoffish, but I'm ready to go, and I'm descending to the location of the parent launching off point.
Who has the map?
He would have left that on the table. It might still be on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would have taken it if nobody else did.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple map. Clearly Farron, and he literally north of that, and he just tapped his finger on the drawn on the map. There is the symbol of a mine, and he says it's 5 miles, so it's not a complicated situation. At least on the map. But it's a scrawl. Who knows how accurate it is, right?
He needs something to wrap that apple right up in. Yeah. But I'll meet you down there. I'm just kind of quiet a little bit and start looking around, enjoying and breathing in the peacefulness of the glade that we're in. And but I'm not over the top of that.
I whisper to Bartleby and say, apparently the ranger did not rest well last night.
Well, I mean, it's no surprise he's probably used to sleeping under the stars or in a tree or something. Oh, well, I suppose we are in a tree, aren't we? And I must say, I slept quite well, considering how high up we are. But I must say, and I would look to see if Abris had finished whatever his breakfast was. And had he finished it, or is there food left over?
There's a little bit left.
Oh, okay. I would take it, and I would say, this food is quite delicious. Do you think it will keep if I bring it with me? I would hate for it to spoil, but I couldn't leave it here uneaten.
You better, if you're going to finish it, you better finish it now.
And then I would look at it, and I would see that y'all is gone, and I make the determination that I have to finish it. And so, but I would kind of be taking it with me and spooning it into my mouth as we're walking towards the entrance or whatever. And then I think I would put the bowl down on the very last table, maybe with a few chunks left in it. And I'm looking back at it forlornly, but I would say, and then I would be like, Do you think we could get one of those apples for the road? Maybe 2.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, they're there for the taking, right?
Yeah.
The grapes, the carrots, the yes.
Oh, I would literally take as many apples as I could, as would
Okay.
be, okay, and I'll put them in my pack.
Sure. Let's see
Yeah.
here. You're able to get 8 apples there into your pack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
If you all adjourn to the square, the town square there, right out front of the forge, Waylon will greet you, already sweating profusely, already filthy. He has been up who knows how many hours already working. He points to the mule and the cart, and in the cart is a pickaxe and shovel, and he says this would we are going to need, and he gives you an idea to craft, say, a sword, axe, etc. We need good size pieces of azurite. So it will do us no good for you to bring me broken crumbles of azurite for the recipe to work. So he indicates the cart, and I do not know the vein. I do not know where what digging may occur, but it will need to be fairly large chunks for me to work with it. And then he reminds you you'll need the cart as it's heavy, dense, and very sharp. Very sharp.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I asked him, are there any dangers along the path? Should we watch for mudslides or side of the road? Is the road clean and clear?
There are many
to travel.
There are many natural potential threats, but you should not, outside of the bandits that have been in the area that might well be staying in the mine. I would think you might, but there have been issues with goblins. There have been issues with other creatures, but I can't speak to whether or what the odds are. I would think around within the first few miles out of town, I would think you were safe. You probably won't encounter anything, but once you get closer to the mine, as elevation will rise, by the way, it's a 1,500-foot climb from the road up to the mine. You may encounter more dangers.
As long as the road is smooth enough for a laden wagon not to break an axe or get stuck into some kind of a pit or a ravine,
Yes, there is an old road up to the mine. The donkey will be able to navigate up to the mine, but it is a 1,500-foot climb.
That's quite a climb.
Yeah, it is.
All right, thank you for your advice. And then I'll do a little curt nod and squint at the sky. We must needs be on our way.
Okay.
The donkey I know cannot travel as fast as us on foot.
So who's driving the mule?
I need to be, I guess, tracking ahead.
Okay.
Like was suggested.
Yeah. So you're leading?
I would have no intention of driving the mule. I would certainly sit in the back of the cart though with Biscuit.
Okay. Now you can all sit in the cart. One of you can drive the mule, so it would pull you.
Does he need what is it situated where he has reins and stuff, or is it would you stand behind him with a little crop or whatever?
It's a single seat behind the mule with reins, and then there's the cart.
I'd be far too short for that. So
right. So but there's room for one driver of the actual mule. Yeah.
Well, if Bartleby's in the back, I'll drive. I guess I can. Come on.
Mm-hmm. And leading the way is
I'll
y'all.
Scout ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And, you notice when you climb into the cart, Bartleby, that there are a couple of sacks in the back as well, and these have hardtack. You notice there's a wineskin of elven wine. They've obviously given you some provisions. You estimate, if rationed appropriately, there should be enough for 3 or 4 days for the 3 of you. So
Okay.
4 days of rations added to what you already have, gentlemen, which is 3. So you'd have 7 days of rations each. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Pickaxe. There's a couple of pickaxes, a shovel.
Mhm.
Yep, back here as well. The mule will go. Sometimes it's stubborn, and you have to give it a little whip, Aberus. And you travel the first 2 miles uneventful, but you notice.
I want to say.
I'm sorry, Dale. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I was just going to preemptively say that I want to be a little bit ahead of them by myself. I'm going to track and look for signs of potential danger, and then I'll let Avarice know that I'll call back, with a whistle or whatnot for him to pull over to the side.
Okay. Now,
if there's something, and then I'll come back and let you know what's
so
up.
are you moving?
Are you in eyesight, or are you even?
Yeah, unless we're around the bend, I'll be a little bit before. You'll see a whistle or whatever, and get off the road if somebody's coming or what have you. You know what I mean?
Are
So,
you
I'll
moving slowly, Dale, and cautiously, or is it pretty quick?
Yeah. Once I get up in front of them at a certain pace, I'll travel at their pace, at the donkey's pace. It's pulling the cart, so that I can stay inside of them. You know what I mean? And
so let's make a tracking roll.
Yeah. Oh, it was 5.
Okay.
Are you? Yeah.
So as you stay ahead of them for a piece, you notice the slope of the grade begin. You estimate that you've already traveled about 2 miles. You know from the map there should be roughly 3 miles remaining, but you've noticed now a steady incline in grade. So you can, if this continues steadily, the 1,500 feet will be covered at about a 500 elevation change over the next 3 miles to get you to the elevation of the mine, if indeed it continues its ascent. And you haven't noticed much foot traffic as far as evidence of horses or foot traffic. There have been spots along the way over this last 2 miles in which you've seen evidence that there had been old campsites, but old as in weeks old, days old, where travelers had stopped and camped the night and made a fire pit, etc. Right.
Okay, I'll go back after a couple of miles like that. What I'm saying is I'll go back and relay directly to them. And when I see Biscuit and Barnaby in the back, I look at them. Barnaby, what are you doing? Get out and ride Biscuit. Don't put any more pressure on the mule himself. He's already having to carry Avarice and whatnot, and it'll take us forever.
What? Wait, what? Huh? What are you saying? And clearly I was asleep.
Yeah. Wake up. And, I'm jostling you a little bit and a little bit aggravated. Wake up. Get on your steed and do this. We're about to ascend. The poor mule won't make any distance, before the sun sets. It's 5 miles.
My steed? What? Sir, I think you are mistaken. Listen. No. Biscuit is not a riding dog. No.
There's no need for you to lay about lackadaisical and burden this beast. It's already burden the beast.
He's literally called a beast of burden. Listen, don't worry. Now, I will be of no use if I have to expend all of my energy climbing up a hill. Now, did you also notice that somehow we have convinced ourselves that we are now going to mine for this gentleman as well? No, I do not mine. No, I'll stay in the back of the cart. Hey, what is that? And I would point.
I'm sure we can find an appropriate shaft to put you in. Get out. Get out. We're about to send 1,500 foot. Did you not hear that? And I'm glancing down the road because we're still rolling along as I'm walking.
Yes, slower because of the grade.
Yeah.
I
heard it quite well, but I have a feeling, and I don't know how much experience you have with donkeys, but they can pull quite a lot. He will not be burdened at all with me and with.
I turn around a bit, fed up, and I'm walking by Avarice. I will scout ahead. Try to keep up if you can, and I'll go ahead. And I'm gonna be walking at the pace, even if they are slowing down.
Sure.
So there could be a
incremental. And
distance.
in the third mile, you would outpace them a bit. There are times, Avarice, where you lose sight of him around him due to the thickness of the trees around a bend. Again, it's a steady climb. There's not been an undulating. It's been a steady climb. And in that third mile, just before roughly the end of that third mile, y'all, you come to a how do I say this? The road kind of breaks off to the east and climbs northeast. It's still headed north, but it breaks off east of this trail and is headed.
It's just starting to wind its way up the
and
mountain.
it's an old trail. You can see there from the trail there's old ruts, some evidence of traffic, but not again in the last few days. As Avarice and company slowly catch you up, you're standing here at this. It's a.
Yeah, it looks like these ruts are going to be dangerous for the wheel. And I want to forewarn Avarice about that. I don't know how well he's handling the cart moving up, but anyway.
Yeah, and it looks
quite well. I can assure you, I've gone back to sleep.
Okay.
So it's not too jostly.
I mean, it
Your snores are alerting every goblin in the vicinity. Yeah,
it's scaring them off.
From the rough map that he sketched, it's hard to say whether this track leads up to the mine from here, or if you should stay on the road you're on.
Hey. Well, does this trail even give us enough room to make it up there with the wagon?
Yeah, it is wagon. It is wagon wide.
It is wagon wide.
It is wagon wide.
Avarice, you can see since I stood there while you were catching me up, that is on my mind whether or not we should go one way or another.
What do you think?
Can I roll that, Jason, to find out any kind of indication?
Yeah, make a roll.
Any signs of any other mining activity or anything? This way?
Yeah, I mean it looks like this is this trail looks like it sends more into the mountain itself as opposed to. I mean this turnoff appears to climb directly into the mountain versus skirting the mountain.
Okay, I'll stop the mule while we wait for y'all to suss it out, and I'll take one of Bartleby's apples since he's snoring, and I'll feed it to the mule.
Okay.
Oh my god! As soon as you take the apple, I'll wake up, and I'll be like, wait, oh, right, Master Avarice, sure, you can have one of the apples, no problem.
Give me that.
She's been a good servant to us all this time.
Give me that D6 check there, Dale.
For the donkey.
Okay. It was 4.
Yeah, so as you walk a little ways up this trail, squat down, investigate, and you can see evidence of old wagon wheel tracks. What looks like again, horseshoed tracks. And you spy as you move up this road, trying to discern whether this is a traveled road, an old mining road. Hard to say, but you spot some fairly fresh tracks and it appears to be at least 3 booted bipeds. They were in boots. And this looks to be maybe within the last 24 hours.
Okay. Did my little reconnaissance. I will not go. Do I see? Are they heading in any certain direction?
They had come.
Altogether
They
different?
had entered the old mining track you're on from the trees and the brush. So they did not come up the road from the main road onto this road. They came out of the trees onto the road here. So you did not pick up the tracks till you went up this road a little ways, and then you see that they enter from the trees onto this road, and then they track up the road. And again, they're maybe 24 hours old, and it appears to be
I will,
3 sets of tracks.
okay, I'll skirt back to the wagon, and Avarice, a piece up this section of road. There seems to be, I believe, bandits that have taken to the trees. I've seen the tracks on the road and up north, no more than a day's occurrence. So we need to be wary of this. Perhaps we should let Barnaby take over the handling of the mule and ride the cart up while we skirt the sides and try to offset any kind of pending ambush. This one.
How's the footing? How's the footing look? Very much room on this trail.
There's sufficient room. There is evidence of wagons and mule-drawn wagons, horse-drawn wagons. It looks like an old mining road. So it may be a bit precarious, but the wagon looks halfway decent to be able to weather any jostling. The master here is a bit of a small target, so he might be better equipped to lead the wagon up. But we may want to go ahead of the wagon and pair up on either side of the track and try to root out any of these bandits.
Just for
And
clarification,
present myself as a target.
Yeah. Are we at a crossroads again where it's essentially either you can take sort of the main road or there was like a kind of a almost like a game trail or whatever up the side? Is that
So
do I understand that correctly?
You were on the
What
main. You were on the main trail, and then this.
Yeah.
This is on the right hand side, headed northeast, breaks off and climbs into the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so
But it's not a game
Are
trail.
we-
It looks like an
Oh.
old mining trail or something, right?
okay, but either way, that's the direction in which y'all is suggesting that we go.
But we won't suggest that, or we won't tell you. We won't wake you up until we're along on the trail. Already up the road.
Oh, I'm already
So you
awake
don't really-
because
He's awake.
because
That's
Abras
the
tried to
apple.
take
He's
one of the
laying there when
apples.
I-
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So if it's a choice of the bumpy and dangerous road or the more the safer, presumably, and less bumpy road, Bartleby would absolutely advocate for the safer and less bumpy road. Going directly up into the mountains where there's evidence of bandits seems like a terrible idea.
Well, that's the direction where the Azurite is most likely.
Yes, Barnaby, we've been tasked with with
But
a
where does
quest
this
here.
road go? And I would be pulling out the map, trying to ascertain whether or not. I mean, does this road that we're on just continue up and then over, or I suppose? And am I able to tell anything from the map as to whether or not the main road
as you break the
would
map
lead
out,
where we wanted to go?
you break the map out and you try to make heads and tails of whoever scrawled this map,
Yeah.
there is no clear indication as to whether you are to leave the main road. It's just marked 5 miles north of Farrondale.
Right. Okay. And so at that point, looking somewhat defeated, I would look to y'all and I would say, so it's your belief that this would be the most direct way to the Azurite, and that should we encounter any bandits or anything like that you would be able to head them off, correct?
We were tasked to do this. We were aware of the bandits.
Yes, of course.
Wayland told us. He gave us this mining equipment, and I'll gesture toward it, laying about you in the back of the wagon, that you rest your head upon to be able to bring back the Azurite.
Oh,
and
no,
yet
of
when
course,
we come
of
here,
course.
you balk at the task.
You misunderstand. You misunderstand me. I'm simply trying to ascertain if both of these paths lead to our quarry or not, but it sounds like they do not. So if we must take this path, then sure, that's what we must do. I'm just simply explaining that it will be difficult. I've not much experience in handling a beast such as this. I will do my best if you insist that I drive the cart, but I must warn you, it's quite possible it could get away from me.
And it might be quite possible that when we gesture for you to ride like hell, that you will take down the path in such a manner if it becomes too heated and we become overwhelmed.
Oh, so I suppose, although I don't suppose ride like hell is within the skill set of this particular beast, but certainly we could try. Yes,
like the wind, break like the wind.
You know, he's quite thick and quite slow. You know, he reminds me of Gravy. That's what I'll call him, Gravy. We have biscuit and gravy. Yes, I'm feeling good about this. Let's carry on.
So you guys are going to
walk.
I'll
do a long, slow drawl up to Alvarez. May we be on our way, Alvarez? And I'll wait for you.
Are you going to move cautiously and aware, or are you just going to lead the way?
I'd say half speed, 60.
Cautious. Okay. So
for us, that way we can pace that.
So you cannot be. You will lose time, but you cannot be surprised. Just so you know.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Right. All right.
Is Abris going to actually go ahead with y'all?
Are you walking or riding, Abris?
Well, how are we gonna bring the cart with us? Doesn't someone have to drive the cart, or is
Well, I've been voluntold for that activity, but I would just point out that should you have the choice, that it may be safer to ride, as you don't seem the most competent when it comes to a combat situation. So should we need to ride like hell, it might be a good idea if we're together, and then you can sling a spell if you have to.
Plus you're big enough for him to hide behind.
That's true. And if you stay in the cart, then I don't have to drive it. But I probably wouldn't want to sit in the back because it'd be way too bumpy. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean you can get off and maybe ride the dog up, or biscuit up.
He's far too lazy for that.
Your movement rate. What is your movement rate? Like 60 and half to 30 for cautious?
Yeah, I think so. I would have to look it up, but it's not much.
Yeah.
The Avarice and myself could go up at varying intervals in kind of like a 3-tier, and maybe we can hopscotch each other. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like me and Avarice.
You're welcome to do it. I'm just saying that, a man who is used to poring over books and spells may not be up to the task. But, I could be mistaken.
I, after some serious consideration, I will climb back into the cart.
Yes.
Reins in hand.
That is the
I
wise
give a
choice.
slow exhalation, and then
guys,
I'll pat the cart.
for me, so.
Serenity
I'll pat
now.
the cart.
So I get it. Y'all's serenity now. Serenity now. Right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Phil.
Yeah.
I'll pat the cart and whatever, as it be it as it must. I'll
Okay.
gesture behind me when the coast is clear. So I'll keep you within, eyesight, and But when I do say make haste, do it so and run over anything that stands in your way.
Yeah.
Get past.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. I would attempt to toss an apple though to you as you're kind of heading out. Keep up your strength. You might need it. That does look like quite a climb.
Yeah, and I'll have some rocks or whatever because I want to use them to pitch them forward to see if I can pull out any kind of bandit that may be hidden.
Okay.
So I have some rocks in my pocket as I go forward. I laughed as one of the gears said 10-foot pole. One of the gear packs. I was like, yeah, I need that one.
Yeah. I know. I thought
anyway.
about taking that, but then I was like, that would be like 3 times as big as me. I don't know, how that would work.
You can pole vault over the enemy and keep running.
Right.
But that's what I'll do. I'll go up forward, and if they're in the wagon, cuddling and for safety, safe place, then I'll go up. Yeah, now inch by inch, 60 foot.
So as you move on, leading the way, another mile or so, the road, Avarice, becomes more difficult, rutted. There are areas where there's been washouts, and the cart will drop into these heavy washouts, and the donkey will have to pull with some whips to pull the cart up and through these.
As soon as the terrain becomes like unmanageable, I would leap out of the cart with Biscuit, just and walk behind it, and probably have my bow prepared as well, just because it would be way too bumpy. Yeah.
Y'all would definitely recognize if there were good spots to ambush travelers on this road, it would be these washes where you can't move quickly. However,
you can roll for me if you like.
there are a couple of switchbacks as the grade gets much steeper. What was you figured was about 5 miles total. You think you've been maybe 4 miles on this track. The switchbacks, as the grade grows more steep, now slows your progress quite a bit, and it's a couple of hours, it seems, to make up a couple of miles, and you see smoke over the somewhat obscured by the trees, etc. You can't see. I mean, the switchbacks block your vision of what's at the heights of the mountain, but you can see evidence of some smoke, y'all. You see it first as you make a switchback before they do. You have still seen at times you are picking up the tracks that are 24 hours old of these 3 bipedal men you think are men. There are times that you've lost it and then you picked it back up on the track. They have not left this trail. They've done the switchback. You're taking the same route these 3 did 24 hours ago. But now as you take this left switchback, all of you know now you've been on the trail longer than it should take you to go 5 miles. However, with the switchbacks and the terrain, hard to say how far you've gone. You do see some smoke above the trees, again, ahead of you. And you can't see where the smoke's coming from, but it's a single stream of smoke. Your experience tells you, y'all, that this is smoke from a fire, campfire, maybe a fireplace, fire pit. It's
That's what I
not
was
like
assuming.
forest fire, right? It's not like a forest fire. It is a camp or shelter fire.
Well, I'm so far enough away from them to where I can barely hear the wagon move.
Right,
Right.
and it is barely
I
moving.
don't
It's
know
so
that's-
rugged. I mean, Aberrus is having to whip the mule at times, and yeah.
Yeah, in some of the trees may buffet the sound or whatever. Maybe there's acoustic shadow we're in as far as getting to the smoke. But I want to get back there and let them know before their sound carries to that encampment or whatever is what I'm thinking. So I want to get back to them, and I will let both of them in the wagon know that
Okay, and
I suspect you've seen the smoke by now.
And Bartleby,
we,
you notice when he arrives to tell you the smoke, which you can see just the top of it from here. You're back far enough, you're seeing just the top. Your dog's nose is in the air, and whining. And however, this is a reaction when your dog smells something mighty tasty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's not like hackles up fear. It is.
Yeah.
It is. He's picking up the scent of something cooking.
Yep. And so as y'all comes back down, and I kind of point to the smoke up, just the top of it up there, and I say, "Yo, what? Do you suspect that's a campfire, right? What do you think they're cooking up there? Can you smell it?"
Hey, Barnaby, just calm down. Calm your hackles down. I want to tell you to stay here. I'll slip up on the scene and determine what it is. If we walk in, we don't want to stumble into an ambush, our foe, rather.
Do you have any restraint on the dog at all?
Yeah, I would. I mean, he is.
So let's
he's
make an
lazy, but he's not stupid.
Let's make an opposed strength check between the dog and you.
The end of us all. Yeah.
Oh, good
Hey guys,
God.
I'm gonna
Okay.
have to.
It's getting.
I
was thinking it's getting late.
You guys
Isn't it?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you guys know.
Okay. Well, we can stop here. We can stop on the trail here if you want.
Well, we got a roll to make though, right? Or are you waiting?
Oh yeah. I don't think he's going to beat me. I rolled an 18.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
I mean, I rolled an 11, so no.
And you don't have a strength modifier, right?
No.
Okay.
My strength is an 8.
So the dog cannot contain himself, smelling this tasty scent in the air, pulls and jolts.
Mm-hmm.
Now he'll drag you.
No, I won't. I won't hold on to him.
With a risk of damage, or you can let him go.
No, I'll let him go for sure.
Okay.
And I'll be like, "Oh, you fool dog!
Don't
eat all the food before you save some for me."
He is cutting off the trail, beelining it through the trees, off the actual track. You hear him whining, and you can hear your luggage or whatever's attached to it bouncing, and some of it may bounce free. Some of your luggage.
Oh no way! I would have taken all that stuff and put it on the cart because
he's definitely running free, dragging a leash or whatever you had to restrain him.
Right,
is dragging behind him as he is. And within a few moments, he's into the brush. You cannot hear him or see him.
Okay, I'll be like, oh. I really hope that dog doesn't get himself killed.
And we can draw the curtains on here and pick up next time we play here if you want to, because I know it's getting late for David and Dell for sure, and you're over there too on the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean I'm good, but yeah.
So we started the mini module with Waylon providing you with the need for azurite, but we haven't gotten to the actual location. So
oh wow,
yeah. So 2 hours and we have not actually we haven't started the module really. which is
Well,
cool,
you
which is
know,
cool.
it was some good role playing.
Oh no, it's
I
great.
mean,
It's great.
Yeah.
Right.
And we
Very much
started
so.
it, of course, with you meeting Waylon. So, but still, very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys. That was great fun. I enjoyed it. And nobody died yet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's pretty good.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
If
Todd's
the
not going
first
to be
casualty
complete.
is my stupid dog, then, you know, that's going to be frustrating.
He's certainly a character. I mean, you're
Burnt
a character.
biscuits. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Awesome.
Very
Cool.
good.
Well, yeah,
Very
I
good.
mean, I'm definitely up to continue whenever.
Oh yeah, next
whenever we
next time we
schedule it or
have
whatever,
that
yeah.
next time we're compelled to do it on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll throw it out there
Yeah.
and see if we're ready to go.
Yeah,
Sounds
sounds
good.
Very good. All right, guys. Well, everybody have a wonderful
Okay.
night, and I guess next week's Joth, I think, or Simbaroom. I don't know what we're doing next week.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, you guys.
Okay. Well, have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Take
All
it
right.
easy, guys.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.